मैं सभी पार्टिसिपेंट का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं और हमारे बीच में आज के की नोट स्पीकर श्री तरुण कंसल जी, आज के गणमान्य स्पीकर डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम दुबई श्री अविनाश गुप्ता जी, और हमारे साथ मॉडरेटर लक्ष्मी रूंगटा जी, और हमारे दोस्त अजीज दोस्त अंकुर तायल जी मौजूद हैं। इनके साथ मैं जीकेबी के सभी मेंबरान का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं, जो इस सेमिनार में हमारे साथ लगातार जुड़ते रहते हैं और नए नए टॉपिक्स को हमारे तक भेजते हैं, ताकि हम इन सेमिनार्स को ऐसे ही कंटिन्यू कर पाएं। मैं ज्यादा समय ना लेते हुए आज के सेशन की जो कमान सबसे पहले मैं चाहूंगा तरुण कंसल जी इस सेशन को आगे करें।
Thank you, Puneet. Thank you, Ankur ji, and thank you, Avinash Gupta ji, the main speaker. I don't know what is about the keynote speaker, but I will initiate something about Form 15A and Form 16B. Avinash ji is a mountain of knowledge, so उनके सामने तो ज्यादा कुछ बोल नहीं पाएंगे, लेकिन फिर भी friends, as you all know, this discussion and this seminar is all about 15CA and 15CB. And I tell you, we chartered accountants and professionals don't give much heed to these certificates or remittance or this declaration 15CA. 15CA is a declaration, 15CB is a certificate. It is issued by the chartered accountants. So nowadays, every person's relative is either in Australia or in UK or in US or I mean, everywhere. And they require the certificate also because they keep on sending some foreign remittance to their country, to their non-resident relatives or something. So first of all, I think we should be very careful about signing the certificates, because in good faith or friendship or in relations, we say, no issues, you send the paper and I will sign. And we sign it outrightly. But today, as everybody can observe, that institute is insisting more on compliance. Should I start?
Yes,
I am
sir.
audible,
Please continue.
Puneet? Yeah. So, in my opinion, we should be very careful about this Form 15CB certificate, which is to be sent by a chartered accountant on the remittance. Basically, Form 15CA is a declaration form. What is the declaration? It must be submitted electronically by the remitter to the bank, paying to the non-resident. And Form 15CB is a certificate which is issued by a CA to verify the deduction of taxes and the completion and the compliance of other regulatory requirements. Basically, it is for two purposes. One is the compliances and other is the deduction of income tax. As per Section 195 of Income Tax Act, every individual or entity responsible for making payment to a non-resident, which includes a foreign company also, must deduct income tax at applicable rate prior to the payment being made. So it is very clear that whatever the remittance has to be made to the other country, one has to deduct the income tax. Pardon?
Oh, sir, कुछ थोड़ा background noise है, so I think that is not ready.
सर यू कंटिन्यू,
आप continue रखिए।
बैकग्राउंड नॉइज थी।
अंकुर जी कुछ कह रहे थे क्या?
नहीं sir, I think that there was some background noise. You may continue,
okay,
sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, Ankur.
Yes, sir.
So the remitter जो होता है remitter, he must submit a declaration in Form 16CA regarding details made to the non-resident. A certificate in Form 16B is attested by a CA in respect of the payment exceeding 5 lakhs. The limit is 5 lakhs. It is less than 5 lakhs, no requirement. And certificate. The nature of payment is tax. But this is the nature of payment, foreign remittance. And tax rate, whatever is applicable on that date, and amount of tax deducted, which is to be taken. And this is issued by a CA under Section 195C of Income Tax Act. Now, a little bit in detail, Form 15CA and 15CB are compliance requirements. Basically, these are the requirements which is to be complied by the remitter. under the Income Tax Act 1961 in India related to remittances made to non-residents. These forms ensure that the taxes are duly paid on the income received by the non-resident there, right? Here is an in-depth look at their intricacies. What is the intricacies? Purpose. What is the purpose of Form 15CA? It is a declaration of payments made to non-resident, which is taxable under the Income Tax Act 1961. It serves as a tool for collecting information on the remittances that are chargeable to tax in the hands of recipient non-resident, right? Now, parts of Form 15CA. What are the Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D? Part A is to be filled by the if the remittance or aggregate of remittance does not exceed Indian rupees 5 lakhs during the financial year, right? Part B is to be filled if remittance or aggregate of remittances exceed 5 lakhs during the financial year. See, it is during the financial year. Suppose you are sending 2 lakhs one time and 3 lakhs, so it will be exceeded 5 lakhs and you require a certificate for that. And an order under section 195(2), oblique 195(3) and 197. These three sections are attracted of the Income Tax Act has been obtained from the assessing officer. And Part C is to be filled if remittance or aggregate of remittance exceed Indian rupees 5 lakhs during the financial year, and a certificate in Form 15CB from an authorized chartered accountant like B chartered accountant, along with our UTIN and all, is obtained. Then Part D is to be filled if the remittance is not chargeable to tax under the Income Tax Act. Ab submission कैसे? Form 15CA is submitted online on the Income Tax e-filing portal before remitting the money. This is very simple. हम लोग आजकल सब यूज करते ही हैं portal, so it is not a very new thing. Then come Form 615CB. What is the purpose? Form 615CB is a certificate issued by the chartered accountant. What does it certify? It certifies that the provisions of the Income Tax Act and the Double Taxation Avoidance DTAA, Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, have been complied within respect of the remittance. It helps the Income Tax Department ensure that appropriate taxes have been paid on the amounts being remitted abroad, right? So now details required in Form 15CB. What are the requirements in Form 16CB? One is details of the remitter, name, address, his PAN number, principal place of business, etc. Now the detail of the remittee, to whom the payment is being made, their name, address, which is the country name, and principal place of business. Then details of the remittance, amount, nature of remittance. What is the nature of remittance? It is a commission. It is basically it is for the beneficiary or someone who is in abroad or any other currency. Which currency? US dollar, pound, or any other. It is to be remitted in this form. Then bank details. What are the bank details? Bank name, branch, BSR code of the bank receiving the remittance. This is okay. Now, certificate from the chartered accountant. This is a verification of the rates of TDS and other tax details as per the provisions of Income Tax Act and the DTTA. So we have briefly discussed about 15CA and 15CB. Later on, my learned colleague, Mr. Avinash Gupta, CA Avinash Gupta ji will discuss in detail, very detailed. I have just taking overview of this filing process. Number one is obtain TAN. The remitter must have a valid TAN number. If TAN number is there, then determine taxability. Assess whether the remittance is taxable under the Income Tax Act and or under DTAA, Direct Tax Avoidance Certificate. Form 15CB. The CA verifies and certifies the detail and issues Form 15CB. The remitter then fills the relevant part of the 15CA and submit it along with the Form 16B, if applicable, more than 5 lakhs, on the Income Tax e-portal. Then submission to the bank. What is this? Both forms, Form 15CA and 15CB, are then submitted to the authorized bank for processing the foreign remittance, right? Then key points to consider. What are the key points to consider? Threshold limit. If the total remittance in a financial year exceeds rupees 5 lakhs, Form 15CB is mandatory. Then accuracy. What is the accuracy code? ensure that all information provided in both forms is accurate and consistent. They should match with each other. Then DTAA benefits. What are those? If the remittance is covered under DTAA, the applicable lower tax rate should be considered and the relevant document should be maintained, right? Then penalties. Non-compliance or incorrect filing of these forms can lead to a penalties under the Income Tax Act. So these are the basic small things which should be kept in mind. Then Form 15CA and Form 15CB play a critical role in the regulation and taxation of foreign remittances. Understanding their intricacies ensures compliance with Indian tax laws and helps avoid potential penalties. It is advisable to consult with a CA जैसे लोगों के लिए to navigate the complexities involved in these forms. So basically, for making an overview of Form 15CA and 15CB, I have given you certain basic points, and I think the details will be covered by Avinash Gupta ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insight on the 15 CACB. Now I'm giving the session to our moderator Lakshmi Rungta ji for further proceedings of this session. And Lakshmi, over to you.
Hello. Good
Good
evening,
evening, Lakshmi ji. I just forgot to address you. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. So I request our speaker, CA Avinash Gupta sir, to address the session.
Avinash ji is busy in some call. He will take in.
Sorry.
Welcome, Avinash ji, again.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Lakshmi ji, and thank you, Puneet Sakuja ji and Ankur Tayal ji, the founder member of Gyan Ki Baat. In absentia of Gyan Bhai, I think he must be busy somewhere in council and he must be coming back. So in absentia, thanks to him also. And my co-speaker of the day or the keynote address by Tarunji. I think Tarunji, it's a wonderful deliberation that you have sum up everything in 4 or 5 minutes. So
Okay.
ideally, I was just thinking that your deliberation should be after me because you have already covered everything.
This I was
Very
also
brief,
thinking.
and it is wonderful that we have done it. So I think, friends, let us start with the note what Tarunji have started. So, friends, my objective today is not to give you, and I forget, Dr. Amit Tiwari ji is also here. So, Dr. Saab, namaskar. I just saw you here. And all the friends. Any sir, doctor ho to sir, doctor कहना पड़ेगा. So, it is good to have you here today also. So, sir, I start this topic from today. From where
I must add, I'm really sorry to interrupt in between. I must add that it is the birthday of Dr. Saab also today.
Congratulations, Dr. Amit Tiwari. Congratulations.
Happy birthday, sir.
Many birthday.
डॉक्टर साहब केक भिजवा देना उसके बाद हैप्पी बर्थडे बोल देंगे
बिल्कुल सर
चलो no problem. So all happy returns of the day, and this is the beauty of this profession, chartered accountancy, that we are so eager to learn about the subject that even we are not going to celebrate our birthday. So that is a real example that we have. So sir, where Tarunji has stopped, so I start from there itself. So I believe, friends, this is one opportunity or one area where I think most of us have not yet thought of it. So this area of 15 CACB is something where we feel that it is very low remunerative job, and we feel that people are paying only 1,000 rupees, 1,500 or 2,000 rupees for a small certificate. So that's why people have not yet actually done it. But friends, this is, I can tell you, this is very good opportunity for youngsters as well as for those people who have that specialized knowledge. So friends, if you see, it may be only 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees what one should charge for getting this 15 CACB set. multiply with number. So if you give 100 certificates per day, multiply by 1,000, it is 10,000 rupees per day, multiply by 20 days working. So if you see, there is a huge amount which is coming. And apart from that, that whenever a client comes for 15 CACB certification, he always asks you for their opinion on various international tax matters. Their one opinion will cost you maybe not less than 1 lakh rupees or maybe 75,000 rupees that you can charge. So I believe that this is a huge opportunity whereby our professional colleagues can work on it. But at the same time, I must acknowledge that our professional brothers are not up to the mark while giving this certification. I have been called many times by the International Tax Chief Commissioner Income International Tax, and he have shown me certificates issued by our professional colleagues, which they are issuing it here and there, but they are absolutely wrong certificates. So I believe, friends, that we should learn the law, we should learn how to give certificate, and then only we should do it. Otherwise, as rightly pointed out by Tarunji, that Institute of Chartered Accountants is there to take a disciplinary action. And many times Income Tax Department itself are referring matters to Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, where they are giving the complaints for the professional negligence. The worst case that I have just come across to me about 2 months back, Tarunji, there is a chartered accountant, I don't name that person. Sir, he have given a certification he have issued about 27 certificates to pay for the payment made for software at zero value, and they have made payments from those companies where their turnover is less than 1 crore. They are issuing certificate for 200 crore plus. So these are all bogus certificates that people are issuing without even ensuring whether the transaction is a genuine transaction, whether there is an actual flow of service or goods or whatever it is, but they are just giving certification and without getting any backup papers. So friends, 15 CB is a certificate. It is not like any form that you are signing. Each and every certificate should be backed by proper evidences, proper documentation at the level of a chartered accountant, plus you need to generate an UDIN also for that particular service. So don't treat this service to be a very, very small service which do not require anything. So for every certificate what we issue, we need to have adequate backup. Anybody, maybe Income Tax Department, maybe institute, or maybe any other agency may come back to you and ask you, okay, on what basis you have issued this certificate. So that's number one, what I want to say about this 15 CACB in general. Second thing, Tarunji talk about that many people come to you and they say that we want to repatriate or remit money, which is now in high demand these days. And these repatriations are done only main account of four transactions. So first is, many NRIs come to you and they say that we have money in our NRO accounts, and now we want to repatriate this amount in our NRE account, or we want to repatriate this amount into our various other foreign bank accounts that they have. This is transaction number one, which is very, very common nowadays. And every day we are hearing in our newspapers also that people are sending money abroad, even the NRIs abroad are taking out money from this country and all. So that's why this particular transaction now have come up for an enhanced due diligence from the government side. Government is checking all these kind of a transaction where money is being repatriated by people to NRIs. The second transaction relates to the people who are resident in India. So Tarunji came to me about 3 months, 4 months back, and he said, Avinash bhai, I want to buy a property in London and I don't know what will happen to me. I keep going to London, so I want to have a house there. I want to do something there. How can I repatriate that money? So there is a scheme for residents, which is called as the LRS scheme, liberalized remittance scheme. So I said under that LRS, you can repatriate about $2.5 lakh per annum per financial year. And then he said, no, I want 20 we repatriate it? I have in my bank account, but how can I do those? So all these kinds of transactions also require a 15 CACB certification by a chartered accountant. So we will deal with this particular second kind of a transaction that we will do. Third transaction, which is also very common, is a non-resident have a property here. The property may be an ancestral property. There may be a flat. There may be an investment in any real estate project. So any kind of a real estate land or building attached to it or building is there. And these non-residents are selling those immovable properties in India, and they want to repatriate the money back to their home countries. So that is the third kind of a transaction which are common, which will come. The fourth kind of transactions where people are coming and people are asking for these 15 CACB certificates are mainly in relation to those transactions which might be a regular business transactions, like purchase of software, downloading of the softwares, making payment for social media, making payment to Facebook, making payment for services, making payment for legal expenses, etc., etc. Either these payments are being made through a remittance from a bank, or sometimes these payments are made through the credit cards and other online medias, etc., etc. So there was the issue that how these certificates can be issued, and many times these transactions are net of tax transaction, and how we can reflect those things into that particular area that we should look into it. So these are four. I think we should deal with these four first, and then we'll have your queries. So whosoever have any query in between, so we can ask. You can ask anything. So Lakshmi ji, you have to help me out with the queries. So if there is any query in the chat box, or if there is any query which is there, which people want to ask, so you have to raise hand and you ask me those queries there and then. So I may not be able to see the chat box and all or Q&A session, so you have to help me for that. So are you ready?
Sir, now we have no queries.
Okay, no problem. So now,
excuse me, sir. Sir, we have one query from Neeti Agarwal, ma'am.
Madam, please don't disturb. You think when it is right time to ask a query. I have not yet started. So only those queries which are related to the topic. So that's why I need you to be there. Okay. So now let me take you the first part of these four transactions, and then we'll move to other transactions. Now, the first transaction is about NRIs. NRIs want to take out the money from India. So we have a $1 million scheme for NRIs under the FEMA law. So under FEMA, any person who is a non-resident in India as per the FEMA laws, so under that $10 lakh per annum per person can be taken out by him through a legal means. Either this money will be taken out from NRO to NRE or from NRO to a foreign bank account. So that is a permissible limit under FEMA, where every non-resident under FEMA, as per FEMA law, whoever is a non-resident can take out this money. Now, before taking out this money, a chartered accountant has to ensure that whatever money that he is taking out has to be a tax-paid money, because under FEMA, it is the duty of a chartered accountant to ensure that only tax-paid money is repatriated outside India. A non-tax-paid money cannot be repatriated outside India as per the FEMA law. So that 15 CB certificate, what a chartered accountant is giving to this NRI, is a certificate stating that all the provisions of the FEMA have already been complied with, and all the provisions of income tax have also been complied with. So this is an intimation to be given to the income tax department under section 195 subsection 7, where they are intimating to the government that yes, we are taking out this money. Tarunji, here there are a couple of issues which are there. So what type of money it is? So either there would be a money which a NRI have earned and paid taxes when he was a resident, or this is a money which is already been earned because of a resident as a non-resident also. So for example, I am a non-resident in India as on date, and I am running a practice in India, or I am running a business in India from which I am earning an income on which I have already paying taxes. So all these kinds of money can be repatriated to me. There is no problem in it, and this can be repatriated by paying zero tax because tax have already been paid. Merely repatriation of money from NRO account to NRE account or NRO account to any foreign bank account does not per se invite any kind of a withholding tax or any kind of a tax in the hands of the non-resident, in the hands of the NRI. Now, when we go and see the form, the first line of the form says that there is an agreement between dash and dash. So normally it happens, there is an agreement between Avinash Gupta and some other party. But what will happen if I am transferring the money from my NRO account to my NRE account, or I am transferring money from my NRO account to an account which is outside India? So what should we write in that? So what we should write is Avinash Gupta NRO account and Avinash Gupta NRE account, or Avinash Gupta foreign bank account. That is what we need to write, and we can repatriate the money. Now, Tarunji, I want to repatriate $10 lakh. I don't have money in my bank account. So you give me $10 lakh in my bank account. So your normal saving account, you pay me $10 lakh in my bank account, and I am a non-resident. Can I repatriate that money? Yes, anybody? And it is a pure tax-paid money of Mr. Tarun. He have already paid taxes on it, and he have given me this $10 lakh. So can I repatriate? If somebody is saying no, can you please unmute why I can't repatriate? पुनीत जी कैमरा खोल लो, आपके लिए भी काम की चीज है, आपको भी ये इश्यूज दिखाई देंगे सारे. Yes, sir. Anybody, why I can't repatriate this $10 lakh? What is wrong in it? Yes, anybody can unmute and can say why.
So if I have received 10 lakh.
This is not remitters money which is already tax paid in India.
Sir, it is already tax paid. Tarunji have already paid tax on it. He have already paid 39% tax on it.
He has paid, but not on my behalf. He has paid himself. So he can send not to this person.
Not, Hanji sir. Sir, Tarunji, you are a big man. You pay 39% tax. So you have just donated me this money. Or maybe given it on loan. Whatever it is. Why I cannot repatriate?
Okay.
It is no doubt it is a tax paid money. It is but can I do that? So answer that most of the people you said is correct. I cannot do that. Why? I cannot repatriate the money out of a loan account. So if I have taken a loan from somebody,
that is what I'm saying, is a loan account.
Prohibited. So under FEMA law, that money is prohibited to be repatriated. So after Nirav Modi, after all these people who have taken huge amount of loans from the bank and repatriated money outside India, so the FEMA law have put a restriction on it that okay, after taking a loan from anybody, whether it is from the bank or financial institution or even individual, I cannot take a loan and repatriate the amount. That is not allowed. Now what happened if Tarunji, if you have given me this gift, $10 lakh as gift to me, then what will happen?
Then also you cannot.
Then I can pay a 30% or whatever tax on it because it is taxable under section 56. I will pay tax,
yes,
and then I can
repatriate
it. That is my,
yes,
then it
yes,
becomes my income. Now a common query which comes to you is, Tarunji, somebody wants to repatriate the money. He do not have a money in his account, but he have money in the account of his father, money in the account of mother, money in the account of sister, money in the account of wife. Can I take the money from them as a gift? Because 56 gift is exempt. And then can I repatriate this $10 lakh? Anybody?
Yes, then he can.
Yes.
Barbara ji is saying yes.
Yes.
Tarunji?
Yes, he can, I think.
Yes, he can.
Okay, sir. Tripathi ji bhi keh rahe, yes. Yes, gift from relative.
Harsha Salvi bhi keh rahi hai, yes.
Sir, answer is big no. Again.
Big no.
Big no. So under the FEMA regulation, I cannot take gift from anybody in India exceeding $250,000. So if my brother, my sister, my wife, my father, my mother, or any of my relative gives me gift, legally they cannot pay me gift more than 2,50,000, or rather they can pay gift. I cannot accept gift as a non-resident exceeding rupees 2,50,000. That is a violation of FEMA. I cannot aggregate 2,50,000 from various people and repatriate it. That is also not allowed. So please be clear, whenever somebody comes to you, this money, you have to ask from where this money have come. If it is coming from a source which is fully legal as well as tax have been paid, or even if tax have not been paid, it is allowed under FEMA, then only issue certificates. Otherwise, don't issue certificates. Presently, 15 days back, RBI or the ED, who looks after the forex, have started issuing notices to all the non-residents who have taken gifts from various parties. So what people have done, I have taken gift of 2,50,000 in my ICICI bank account and repatriated it. I take 2,50,000 gift from another party, another relative in my HDFC bank and repatriated it. I take another gift in Kotak Mahindra and repatriated it. Because each bank cannot repatriate more than 250,000 because bank knows it. So 2,50,000, not rupees, sir. Sachinji, it is dollars. Whenever we are talking payment, all dollars. 2.5 लाख रुपए होते क्या है? कुछ नहीं होते 2.5 लाख रुपए. 7 लाख तक तो वैसे ही हमारे माफ है. So we are talking about dollars.
अविनाश जी.
Yes sir, yes sir.
सर एक चीज बताइए, यदि मान लो कोई अपनी मदर से गिफ्ट लेता है,
ले लेना सर.
नहीं तो उसके अब आप 2.5 लाख डॉलर की बात कर रहे हैं. यदि मान लो 5-7 लाख रुपए वो ले लेती है, आई मीन ले लेता है, ले लेती है, और वो रिपेट्रिएट करते हैं.
रुपए या डॉलर?
नहीं सर, रुपए, नॉट डॉलर. 2.5 लाख डॉलर की बात.
2.5 लाख डॉलर तक तो मैंने आपको अलाउ कर दिया ना. That up to 2.5 lakh dollars you can take gift and repatriate it. There is no problem.
Perfect.
Okay. Over and above 250, because I am allowed to take out $1 million, which is $10 lakh. ठीक है सर.
थैंक यू.
हाँ जी. आप चिंता ना करो सर, थोड़ा सा सेंसेशन बनाना पड़ता है. सब सो जाएंगे.
ठीक है.
लक्ष्मी जी सोच रही थी, मैंने तो अभी 3-4 लोगों को सर्टिफिकेट इशू कर दिया, क्या होगा मेरा, कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं आ जाएगी. 2.5 लाख डॉलर तक कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बट 2.5 लाख डॉलर के ऊपर बिल्कुल देख के चलना है किससे क्या हो रहा है. प्लीज मेक श्योर, बिकॉज it is our responsibility as a chartered accountant to not only to save us but also to guide our clients. Normal certificate will fetch you only 1,000 rupees, but these kind of advisory will fetch you 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 rupees as a professional fees, and client will be with you for a longer period of time. So that's why please try to make value additions for the client. Don't feel that it is a small only for certificate people they are coming. Okay, sir. So first, as far as NRIs are concerned, I have already covered this thing. Any problem as far as NRI is concerned, any person have any kind of a transaction with NRI other than sale of property? Because I will take it in the third claim.
सर एक चीज है, ये जो रेस्ट्रिक्शन है 7.5 लाख रुपए की, क्या आप रेपिट्रेट कर सकते हैं 7.5? अदरवाइज टैक्स डिडक्ट होगा उसके ऊपर. तो क्या इसके ऊपर भी टैक्स डिडक्ट होगा जो हम अपने जो ऐसे कि?
सर आप यही दिक्कत है ना, हम पढ़ते नहीं है.
बताइए
सर. उसमें आहूजा जी बोल के थक गए, पढ़ा करो सर. उसके बाद साफ लिखा हुआ है 7.5 लाख अंडर LRS.
हाँ जी.
Is it a LRS scheme what I am doing? It is a $1 million scheme which is not covered under LRS.
Okay.
And that TCS of 7.5 lakh and above is applicable only to residents. It is not applicable for non-residents. Don't worry about it.
ठीक है.
आप $1 million करो repatriate, कोई TDS TCS कलेक्ट.
Perfect.
चलिए सर. Yes sir. Any other query sir? चले सर, तरुण जी आगे चले.
Yeah, sure sir, sure, please.
चलिए सर. जितेंद्र मिश्रा जी, जो भी आप रिपेट्रिएट करोगे NRE to NRO, ऑलवेज यू नीड अ सर्टिफिकेट. अगर मैं NRE से कहीं पे भी भेजता हूँ, NRE to any account do not require any certificate because NRE account is deemed to be outside India. और अभी तरुण जी ने नया गिफ्ट सिटी में अकाउंट खुलवाया है, तो उस अकाउंट से भी तरुण जी आप कुछ भी करते हो तो दैट इज आउटसाइड द परव्यू ऑफ फेमा लॉ, दैट इज आउटसाइड द परव्यू ऑफ इनकम टैक्स लॉ एज वेल. So that account is also outside, deemed to be an outside India. तो आपका गिफ्ट सिटी का अकाउंट है, उसमें भी आपको किसी भी तरह का कोई 15 CACB का कोई कंप्लाइंस नहीं करना है. चले सर नेक्स्ट. रेजिडेंट टू एनआरओ ऑल्सो कम बैंक आर 15 CB. बिल्कुल सर, अभिनव जी बिल्कुल आपने सही बोला सर. एज पर सेक्शन 195 ऑफ इनकम टैक्स एक्ट, एनी पर्सन whether he is a resident or a non-resident responsible for making payment to a non-resident. अभी सर आप नॉन रेजिडेंट को पेमेंट कर रहे हो, चाहे आप नॉन रेजिडेंट को पेमेंट एनआरओ अकाउंट में कर रहे हो या नॉन रेजिडेंट को पेमेंट आप एनआरई अकाउंट में कर रहे हो या उसके फॉरेन बैंक अकाउंट में कर रहे हो, एज पर सेक्शन 195 सबसेक्शन 7 in all cases you have to intimate the same to the income tax department under form 15 CACB. So अगर कल को आप किसी भी नॉन रेजिडेंट को पेमेंट करोगे तो आपको ये इंटीमेशन देनी है, ये फॉर्म फाइल करने हैं. चले सर आगे चलते हैं. Which comes with respect to the residents who want to make payment towards various expenditure, various investments abroad. तरुण जी आए मेरे पास, उन्होंने कहा कि भाई मेरे को जो है मेडिकल एक्सपेंडिचर देना है किसी का, मुझे फैमिली में किसी का देना है, मुझे किसी फैमिली में किसी का एजुकेशन का एक्सपेंडिचर देना है, बाहर घूमने जाना चाहता हूँ तो उसके लिए ट्रेवल का एक्सपेंडिचर देना है, मुझे कोई एग्जीबिशन में जाना है तो एग्जीबिशन के चार्जेस देने हैं, या मैं कोई प्रॉपर्टी खरीदना चाहता हूँ लंदन में उसके लिए मुझे पैसे देने हैं. These are all covered under the LRS scheme and this is applicable only to those people, those individuals who are resident in India as per FEMA law. So if somebody is a resident in India, then they can repatriate the money outside India to the extent of $250,000 per annum. Beyond $250,000, they cannot repatriate it. और आजकल एक नया ट्रेंड शुरू हुआ है बाहर कंपनियां खोलने का, and many individuals are opening companies outside India, and the common thing what they are asking me, can I make a subsidiary of my private limited company, can I make this subsidiary of my LLP, can I make this subsidiary of my proprietorship, partnership, or should I do it individually? So if the person is investing in a company abroad or they want to invest in a stock market abroad, provided it is allowed, so if these are the transactions, then individual can do so to the extent of $250,000 per annum. Beyond that, he cannot invest or he cannot do it. But what will happen if he want more? So Tarunji can invest $250,000. Tarunji's wife is also an individual SSC. She can also send $250,000. His son can also send a $250,000. So that is all there. The only thing what as a chartered accountant I need to see, the money should be a tax-paid money and it should be from the genuine sources and it should not be out of a loan taken from somewhere. So if it is there, then yes, I am allowed to repatriate this money outside India. And to that extent, I can issue 15 CACB certification for this particular purpose. So that is allowed. And resident cannot have an NRE account. The resident cannot generally have a foreign bank account. So hence, these kind of transactions are generally not there. Yes, they can invest in properties abroad. They can invest in bonds abroad. They can invest in shares abroad, etc., provided we have a guideline issued by the RBI saying that within 6 months, if they have any balance in their bank account, they have to repatriate it back to India. So those new guidelines are always there, whereby they cannot hold the money beyond 6 months in their bank accounts abroad. Yes, they can invest in the properties, they can invest in the shares, and they can all do all kind of an overseas direct investment through his personal individual capacity there. Now, many times the banks are asking 15 CACB certification even for ODI transaction, which is an overseas direct investment in share. But under the rule 37BB, the income tax department, while issuing these rules of 15 CACB, they have exempted ODI transaction. So for making an investment in shares abroad of any company, there is no requirement of issuing 15 CACB certification. But for all other purposes, they may require this certificate to be issued by a person or to be declared individually. जैसे तरुण जी ने बताया कि अगर 5 लाख से कम है तो 5 लाख से कम के केसेस में आपको सिर्फ पार्ट ए भरना है, आपको 15 CB की जरूरत नहीं है। अब लक्ष्मी जी मेरे पास आई, लक्ष्मी जी ने बोला कि सर मैंने क्या किया, मैंने 1 लाख रुपए तो आपको दे दिए, आपकी प्रोफेशनल फीस, और मैंने पार्ट ए भर दिया। उसके बाद मैंने किसी को 3 लाख रुपए दे दिए, उसका भी पार्ट ए भर दिया। अब there is relative of mine who is in London and I सो मेरा 1 + 3 4 लाख ऑलरेडी हो गए, और ये 2 लाख रुपए मैं और दे दूंगी तो मेरे 5 लाख से एक्सीड हो गए। क्या मैं 15 CA पार्ट ए भरूं या कोई और पार्ट भरूं? बिकॉज द लिमिट ऑफ 5 लाख हैव बीन क्रॉस्ड। तो फिर लक्ष्मी जी को मैंने समझाया कि लक्ष्मी जी दैट लिमिट ऑफ 5 लाख इज नॉट पर रेजिडेंट, इट इज पर नॉन रेजिडेंट। तो अगर मैंने किसी एक पर्सन को 6 लाख देने हैं, देन आई कैन नॉट फाइल पार्ट ए। मैं 4-4 लाख के 10 लोगों को दे सकता हूँ, देयर इज नो एब्सोल्युटली नो प्रॉब्लम। दैट लिमिट ऑफ 5 लाख रुपीज इज फॉर ईच नॉन रेजिडेंट। आई कैन नॉट पे मोर देन 5 लाख to a person, and if I pay 4 lakh to 10 people, that's absolutely fine. I can file part 14CA part A itself, so there is no need for that. If the non-resident have taken a lower deduction certificate either under section 195(2) or 195(3), read with section 197, the lower withholding tax rate, then even I can file 15CA part B without any limit. Even crores of rupees, millions of dollars can be filed without a CA certification in 15CA Part B. If the income is of such which is exempt under the Income Tax Act itself. So for example, Tarunji is a partner in a partnership firm paid tax and his share of profit is being given. That share of profit is exempt in the hands of Tarunji. I have an ancestral property. That property is an agriculture land. I earned agriculture income. That agriculture income is exempt, and I want to repatriate that particular income. So all those exempt income. If somebody have asked me a question about commission, so somebody have paid an export commission for something, that we have a Farida Leather Chennai High Court judgment followed by many Delhi tribunal and other tribunal judgments, which says all kind of an export commission whereby the company have actually exported goods outside India. So those commissions are also exempt from tax under the domestic law itself, under the Income Tax Act 1961 itself. So all these kinds of transactions, we have to file 15CA Part B. That is irrespective of the limit of amount that Part B can be filed. Now for all remaining, Part C has to be filed, and for taking a Part C, we need to take 15CB certificate from Chartered Accountant. So that is what is required. Now let me come to the third transaction, which is called the transaction where NRI or non-resident have sold immovable property in India and then he will repatriate. So as far as non-resident is concerned, there is no bar on non-resident in holding any kind of a residential or a commercial property in India under the FEMA law. They can buy any property which is a residential or a commercial property. However, a non-resident cannot buy an agricultural land. So that is a restriction on the non-resident, that he cannot buy an agricultural land. However, he can inherit an agricultural land. If a person is there, that person's father is an agriculturist, he died, and after his death, I inherited an agricultural land. So there is no bar on me that I cannot hold it. I can hold it for my life. That is absolutely no problem. But I, as a non-resident, cannot buy a new agricultural land. That is not permissible. So if I sold that agricultural land, if I sold my commercial property or residential property, it is fully allowed. There is no bar on us. And whatever money I receive from that sale, that is subject to capital gain tax. After paying that capital gain tax, then whatever money left, irrespective of the amount, the entire amount can be repatriated to a non-resident without any hassle. So if I have a mall, I constructed a mall, entire mall was sold in 500 crores, 600 crores, then I can repatriate the entire 600 crores back to my home country by way of a remittance. The only limitation is that whatever is the amount of capital gain or business income, whatever the case may be, has to be the tax on that same has to be repatriated or has to be paid to the government either by way of an advance tax or by way of a TDS. Now here, person who is responsible for making the payment to that non-resident, meaning thereby the buyer of the property, buyer of the immovable property, he is under an obligation to withhold tax under section 195, and that has to be deposited by him to the government on the immovable property which have been sold by a non-resident in India. So that is there, and then at the time of repatriation of money, then a chartered accountant is required to issue a 15 CB certificate, and a corresponding 15 CA Part C also needs to be filed by the person, even if the person is individual. Even if it is an individual, that has to be done in those cases. And many people make a mistake by deducting only 1% TDS because they said that for any property exceeding 50 lakh, we have to deduct only 1%. No, sir, that is only for resident to resident transaction. If a non-resident is selling a property, then the tax rate should be applicable 20% plus surcharge plus cess. If it is a short-term capital gain, then 30% plus applicable surcharge, etc. etc. So those TDS needs to be deducted whenever we are dealing on the subject of immovable properties. Now, friends, if you have any question on this in this regard, you can ask these questions.
So we have a query from Bhavish Sharma, sir. An Indian company needs to transfer fund to its parent company group. Overhead cost on actual basis without markup. Part D of 15 CA is required to be filled or not?
Come again.
Okay. An Indian company needs to transfer fund to its parent company. Group overhead cost on actual basis without markup. Part D of 15 CA is required to be filled or not?
Correct. It is required. It is required because it is an intra-group cost. Whether there is a markup or there is no markup, it is deemed to be a technical services. And in case of technical services, even a TDS is required to be withheld at 20%.
Okay, sir. One more query. Neeti Agarwal ma'am is asking, an Indian company is making payment to NRI agent for providing services of sourcing goods from readily available from outside India. Agent is not having any PE in India. Is TDS required to be deducted on payment or not?
Not required. Any commission for an foreign outsourcing of goods is not taxable in India.
Okay, sir. No more queries.
Hello, sir.
Any other question? Yeah.
Hello, Avinash sir. So, is there any auto debit from the credit card for import of service? So, is there any form
In
15?
in case of the credit cards payment, even may not be the auto debit. Maybe normally people pay from card also. So there is a technical problem in this, that we cannot file a 15 CACB certificate because form do not support that. So that is why we have taken a stand that for credit card transactions, we are not required to file 15 CB because the form does not support it. And there is no point of filing wrong information.
Form 15 CA and CB both. Both.
You do not have a BSR code, you have many things which are missing. So that's why we have taken a stand that we cannot file it. Even the department is accepting this stand.
Okay. Is there any supporting document or?
It is something like the department have asked you to file the returns, but they have not prescribed the ITR form. How can I file the form without they have given me the facility to file?
Is there any support case study or judgment, something if you have?
It have never been disputed by the department. Hence, there is no dispute on this part.
Okay. Thanks, Avinash.
But shortly they are revamping 15 CACB form. I am part of that group who is doing it. I think this problem will be solved soon. So they will go for a credit card option in that form.
Thanks.
Next query. Please clarify how to interpret DTAA. In most of the cases, there is a mention that an income is taxable in source country. However, the very second line says that, however, it can also be taxed in other company. In such case, how to interpret?
No, So DTA has to be interpreted from the source state. So don't go for any sub-article 1. It is always read with sub-article 2. So article 1 says that it is taxable. However, it can also be taxed in the source state, but the maximum rate of tax does not exceed 10%. So meaning thereby the source state have a right to tax at 10%, 15%, 5%, 20%, whatever is the amount mentioned there. So from the source state perspective, sub-article 2 is always overriding article 1. So it is basically a proviso kind of a stuff which is there, or a overriding sub-article is written in the DTA. This is the way DTAs are being written. So simply जैसे मैं लक्ष्मी जी आपको समझाऊं, आपको मैं कहता हूं कि आपको वहां जाना है, you have to go straight, but उसके बाद बीच में कह देता हूं लेकिन 100 मीटर से आगे मत जाना. So meaning thereby कि आपको सीधा तो जाना है, but 100 मीटर तक जाना है.
100 मीटर तक ही जाना है.
उसके आगे नहीं जाना. So it is like it is taxable in the resident state. However, source state also have a right to tax it, but the maximum rate of tax is this.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Hello.
ये बताइए नीति जी, आप अनम्यूट कीजिए प्लीज.
Hello.
हेलो,
I have a question.
बोलिए सर.
There was recently a question was asked that whether payment done to overseas broker for procurement of goods is taxable or not. You said that it is not taxable. However, if the goods are going to be used in India, in that case, because it is having it is some business connection with India. Hello.
Sir, whatever is the case, what is the nature of service? The nature of service is identification of the goods and helping you to procure those goods. Which have nothing to do with India. Now it is a later on whether you use these goods in India or you re-export those goods is a secondary matter. And there are n number of judgments which says that merely commission or introduction of these things cannot be classified as a technical service. Then in the absence of any technical service, this is to be done with a business profit, and in the absence of any permanent establishment in India, so the entire amount is not taxable.
Okay, some slight different scenario. If a company employs a broker in say China, and the company wants to procure certain plant and machinery is there, and for which the company doesn't want to send a permanent employee of its to China, and it appoints a broker there. He will just get quotation from Chinese companies. He will do the inspection. He will process the orders, and he will help the Indian company to just get it dispatched from China to India. In that case,
so that inspection part we need to see whether a professional expertise is required or not. Other than inspection, if he is doing all the activity, that is not taxable.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
We have our next one.
बोलिए नीति जी. लक्ष्मी जी एक मिनट पहले नीति जी का क्वेश्चन.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes.
सर एक NRI ने प्रॉपर्टी सेल करी, उसके बाद वो पैसे उन्होंने अपनी वाइफ को ट्रांसफर कर दिए. उनकी वाइफ ने वो पैसे इंडिया के बाहर रेमिटेंस कर दिए. वाइफ भी NRI है.
ओके.
हेलो.
हाँ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है मैडम, कर सकती है.
सर तो वाइफ अपनी ITR में गिफ्ट दिखाएंगी अपने हस्बैंड से, या ऐसी मतलब रेमिटेंस हो सकता है? उसमें TCS कट गया है.
मैडम TCS कट ही नहीं सकता. इफ वाइफ इज अ नॉन रेजिडेंट, TCS कैन नॉट बी डिडक्टेड. आपने उनका जो अकाउंट होगा वो NRO में कन्वर्ट नहीं कराया होगा, अभी सेविंग अकाउंट ही होगा उनका.
अच्छा सर,
ITR के अंदर कहीं पे गिफ्ट दिखाने का कॉलम है क्या?
एग्जेम्प्ट इनकम में सर दिखा सकते हैं तो
आप दिखा दीजिए, स्क्रूटनी में आएगा केस, बस से ज्यादा कुछ नहीं होगा.
तो सर दिखाना ज्यादा बेटर रहेगा या नहीं दिखाना?
मैडम दिस इज योर प्रोफेशनल जजमेंट, डिपेंड्स ऑन द पर्सन, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इनकम दे हैव, पास्ट रिकॉर्ड्स, और कितना अमाउंट है. अगर 10 लाख रुपए का है तो दिखा दो, 10 करोड़ रुपए का है तो स्क्रूटनी में 100% आएगा.
नहीं, 15 lakhs.
I can't comment on this. It depends on the case to case.
ठीक है, thank you sir.
Yes. Any other question? Then Lakshmi ji, now you.
Good evening, sir.
हाँ
हेलो
जी, गुड इवनिंग। या
सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था, आपने जो बताया कि अगर हम इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी ट्रांसफर करते हैं और उसका वैल्यू 50 लाख से ज्यादा है, तो फिर जो रेसिडेंट पर्सन होते हैं वो 1% TDS काटते हैं, लेकिन अगर वो नॉन रेसिडेंट है तो सर 40% काटेंगे। तो अगर सर
कितना कटेगा?
40%,
कटेगा?
40%।
किसने कहा? मैंने 40% तो नहीं कहा था।
सर, उसी में मुझे
लक्ष्मी जी,
थोड़ा
मैंने
सा,
40% कहा था क्या?
सर मेरा हो सकता है कि
मैंने ये
सुनने में ये है, तो प्लीज ये वाला
मैंने ये
पॉइंट थोड़ा
मैंने ये
क्लैरिफाई
कहा
कर
था
दीजिए।
मैडम, मैंने ये कहा था कि अगर ये लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन है तो 20% प्लस
ओके,
सरचार्ज प्लस सेस, और अगर ये शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल गेन है तो 30% प्लस सरचार्ज प्लस सेस लगेगा।
अच्छा अच्छा, थैंक यू सर।
तो नहीं कहा था मैंने, चलो आगे बोलो।
नो नो सर, हो सकता है कि सर मैंने गलत सुन लिया, इसीलिए मैंने सर आपसे पूछ लिया।
कोई बात
थैंक यू सर।
नहीं। So that has to be deducted like this. जी, एनी अदर क्वेरी? बोलिए लक्ष्मी जी, अब आपके पास कोई क्वेरी है तो।
So what should be the rate of TDS for making payment of online journals to NRI company?
देखिए, जर्नल्स जो है, जर्नल्स के ऊपर नॉर्मली व्हाट इज द केस इज दैट इफ दीज आर द पब्लिकली अवेलेबल जर्नल्स and publicly available information are there, and the journal is also printed in a hard copy, hardbound manner, then this is called as a purchase of the books or purchase of the journal, then there is no TDS. But if the journal is a confidential journal, it contains certain information which is copyright in itself, and you cannot use those articles, or you cannot use those information without their permission. So in that cases, even if it is a e-journal, Shishirji, so what is important is the content. If the content is a publicly available content, or that content is freely available to the public to be used, then it is a copyright of copyrighted article. Then in that case, there is no TDS. But if there are certain medical journals coming, there are certain architectural journals, fashion journals are coming, where these journals are normally not available to the public. And even for using those designs and other things, you need some kind of an approval from the publishing, or they have a copyright in it. Then in those cases, these journals are classified as paying royalties to them, and taxable at 20%.
Okay, so next question. Whether consultancy charges paid to non-residents are taxable, or even exhibition charges which are conducted outside India?
Consultancy charges, we have a section 917. So 917 clearly says that if it is a consultancy being taken, that is subject to tax under 917, read with section 115A at the rate of 20%. So all consultancy charges paid to anybody is taxable. However, the DTA may have a different version of it, and they may give exemption to it. So consultancy normally are taxable, except there is a make available clause in the DTAA. So based on that, you can exempt it. As far as exhibition is concerned, if the exhibition charges is merely renting of the space, so the exhibitor is being given a space, and for that space it is being charged. So merely it is renting, then in those cases it is not taxable, because it is for a rent for an immovable property which is situated outside India. Along with the renting of the immovable space, they are giving some other facilities to you. So if they are giving facilities like giving internet services, they are giving other kind of facilities like coffee, etc., etc. So in all those cases, these charges, these services may classify as a technical services, and in case of these technical services, then this is subject to a TDS or subject to a withholding tax in India.
Okay. Next, the question is, I am a NRI using my debit card for making payments abroad. Am I subject to any tax?
Madam, दोबारा बोलिए. I am having a debit card.
I am an NRI and using my debit card for making payments abroad. Am I subject to any tax?
नहीं, आप NRI हो और अपना डेबिट कार्ड यूज कर रहे हो, तो I hope these are all personal expenditure. So these are, so So on this personal expenditure, if you are buying, if you are taking taxi, if you are buying food, if you are buying any item, I don't think that it is subject to any tax in India. So there is no tax. However, there may be a TCS collection above 7.5 lakh if your account is not an NRO account. If it is a normal account, then TCS may be collected on it. Or you declare to the bank that you are a non-resident. You have $1 million available to you as a non-resident. Up to that 1 million, you can do anything.
Okay, next, 15 CB says, Party, we have read the agreement. Generally, we receive only invoice duly approved by directors. I think that it's not complete, I think.
No, sir. I
Harsh,
want to know whether we need to take an agreement or merely approved invoice is sufficient.
So if you feel that it is only an approved invoice, but you find that invoice is not genuine. So for example, I am working as a chartered accountant, but the invoice says that you have subscribed for fashion journal or fashion software. Then of course you can ask me that why this invoice to be paid and how it is related to your business. To ensure the due diligence, to ensure that it is a business expenditure what is being paid, you have to do your due diligence. If you initial due diligence, if you find okay, so one time you have seen the agreement and then only the regular invoices are coming, then it is okay. But maybe you may look into it depending on client to client. So if it is your regular client and you know, yes, it is this kind of transactions which are regular, then you may skip. But for a new client, I advise you to have a proper agreement. And not only agreement, enhanced due diligence.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Excuse me.
next. Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, if a particular payment has not been routed through regular banking mode, but the director has paid directly through his credit card, and now he is claiming it as a reimbursement from the company. Then in that case, should we file 15CA Part D if it is not that particular payment is not taxable, or is it not required?
Ideally, the form needs to be filed from the PAN number or the TAN number of the director, because he is the person who have made the payment.
Okay.
However, you can say that the director is the agent of the company. Hence, for the payments made by the director, the company is filing this information. So that is also a right way of doing it.
Okay.
Ultimately, it is an expenditure of the company, and it needs to be reported to the income tax department.
Okay, we should just file the form and keep it with us for showing to the authorities in case they require it.
Correct.
Okay. Sir, one more question.
Yeah.
Certain service providers now they are not willing to file Form 10F online. Even if we instruct them that it is just a 10-minute job, you can file it and so provide it so that we can apply for DTA. But some of the companies or service providers, they are hesitating to file Form 10F. In that case, what should we do? We should bear the tax expenditure.
What is your name, sir?
See, Hemant Pujara.
हेमंत जी, ऐसा है, मैं आपको 20 बैलेंस शीट देता हूं, आपको कोई ऑडिट नहीं करना, कुछ नहीं करना, साइन करके दे दो, जो फीस कहोगे मैं दे दूंगा. नाउ इट इज योर चॉइस कि आप मुझे अपनी मेंबरशिप डिग्री जो है, जो आपने इतनी मेहनत से कमाई है, वो प्लेट में रख के देना चाहते हो, या रिस्क लेना चाहते हो, या आप उसको मना करना चाहते हो. So that is the biggest mistake that we are all doing. And if the client is not ready to do 10F, then don't give them benefit of DTA. If they are not giving you TRC, so that's I am very clear about it. Whatever is the law, we have to comply the law. If the law says that a TRC and 10F has to be filed, and now 10F has to be filed online, then it has to be filed online. Otherwise, I am not ready to give any certificate. I am not ready to give any benefit. So if you are not giving any benefit of 10F and giving the certificate, absolutely no problem. But
they are providing in Word form, but not willing to do it online. That was
Word form is not at all a form prescribed by the income tax rules. Okay, so the prescribed form is the online form that is to be filed. That one form they allow you for certain period of time, then they extend it for another certain period of time. But now they said till the time it is not in the proper format, it is deemed to be no form. सर आज आपको ITR फाइल करनी है, आप मैनुअल ITR जो है स्पीड पोस्ट से भेज देते हो, whether it deems to be ITR?
Definitely not.
Then how can 10F be a valid form if it is not filed online? सर आपको ऑनलाइन, however, अब आप इसमें समझिए, पहले क्या था, सिर्फ नॉन रेजिडेंट कैन फाइल दिस 10F. Now even a resident, the payer who is making the payment can also file this 10F. आप पेयर को बोलो कि फाइल करेगा उसके लॉगिन से.
Okay, वो कर सकता है, but certain information will require from his side.
Yes, sir. Even the payer now can file this 10F form. That's not a problem.
Okay, great. In that case, we can call the payer.
Sorry.
ओके तो मतलब अगर पेयर उनके बिहाफ में फाइल करेगा तो उनसे कुछ ऐसी इन्फॉर्मेशन तो नहीं लेनी होगी, या OTP या कुछ आता होगा, वैसा कुछ नहीं होगा ना? मतलब अभी मैंने बहुत तो
सर आप खोल के देखो, सर खोल के देखो, ट्राई करो, अगर फिर कोई दिक्कत आएगी तब बात करें.
ओके ओके, थैंक यू सर.
हाँ, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, इट्स वेरी सिंपल प्रोसेस. चलिए सर. यस मैडम, एक कोई और क्वेश्चन है?
Yes, sir. If an individual who is not liable to deduct the TDS due to turnover limit not exceeding 1 crore and he is making foreign payment of 10 lakh, whether he is required to deduct TDS and whether he is required to obtain certificates from CA?
Correct. Every person, the word uses any person, whether liable for tax audit or not liable for tax audit, whether resident, whether non-resident. If he is making payment to a non-resident, then he has to file the information under 15 CA CB form. So then he is liable. Whether 10 lakh, 10 rupees, even 10 rupees payment, then they have to do it. This company.
Next, all banks are having different rules for transferring the funds out of India, either from resident account or NRO account. Some even ask for 15 CA CB, in spite the amount is below INR 7 lakhs out of NRO. Can you clarify the regulation?
नहीं, NRO में 7 लाख था और कोई रूल ही नहीं है सर. NRO account, if somebody is repatriating money from NRO account, meaning thereby he is a non-resident. And non-resident, there is a $1 million scheme. He can repatriate up to $1 million. If it is a normal saving account or a normal account, then the money must be repatriated under the LRS. Under the LRS scheme, the maximum amount that can be repatriated is $250,000. And if the amount is exceeding ₹7.5 lakh, then there is a TCS provision on it. I don't know what I need to clarify on this.
The next query. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the rate of tax on consultancy charges paid outside India and on services provided by the agency during exhibition outside India? And how do we pay the taxes? Kindly explain the procedure.
20% is the rate prescribed under Section 917, read with Section 115A. For all the services, if they classify to be a technical services covered under the definition given under 917, the rate is prescribed under 115A at 20%. So all the services will be liable to be paid at that 20% rate. However, the DTA may give relief of 10%, 15%, or maybe 0%. That depends on case to case basis. Country in the DTA with the country that we have. Chaliye, madam, next.
Yes, sir. Banks are asking 15 CB in case of another account also on ₹20 lakhs.
हाँ तो होगा ही ना. अब अंकुर तायल जी, मेरा बैंक अकाउंट है, मैं नॉन रेजिडेंट हूँ, मेरे एनआरओ अकाउंट में 20 लाख पड़े हैं. I want to repatriate this to my NRE or to my foreign bank account. I have to go to Ankur Tayal ji and I have to ask him, request him, sir, please issue me certificate. So because I am a non-resident, repatriating to myself, who is a non-resident. So any person repatriating money to a non-resident, they are under an obligation to report this transaction in 15 CACB. तायल साहब तो जिस बैंक का ऑडिट करते हैं उस बैंक को स्ट्रिक्ट इंस्ट्रक्शन देते हैं कि बिना 15 CACB के कोई रिपेट्रिएशन नहीं होगी. ठीक कह रहा हूँ दयाल साहब, आपका मैनेजर का फोन आया था, बहुत परेशान कर रखा है आपने उन्हें
अरे सर
फॉरेन पेमेंट्स पे 15
सब आपकी गाइडेंस से ही फाइल करते होता है सर वो।
चलिए मजाक ऑन अ लाइटर नोट।
यस यस।
हाँ जी मैडम, और कोई?
Yes, sir. One query. Pratap Kumar Kart is typing. Just. Can you please guide us on TDS applicability on sponsorship?
ये प्रताप जी, स्पॉन्सरशिप किस तरह की है, जरा थोड़ा सा इस पर प्रकाश डालें। हेलो।
अरे बस ठीक है, ठीक है।
What is the kind of sponsorship that you are doing? Can you please elaborate on whether it is kind of an advertisement, whether it is a publication in the newspaper or journal, or whether it is a sponsorship of an event? What kind of a sponsorship it is? Hello, Prakash ji, if you can.
Pratap ji.
Pratap ji. So, sir, if it is an educational event overseas, then in that case, it is purely a branding activity, and there is no technical services involved in it. So, and this activity is also happening outside India. So, hence, this is not taxable in India. So, there is no requirement, no need to withhold any tax on these payments. Ji, any other question? ज्ञान जी की आवाज आई थी सर, पहल साहब आ गए क्या?
ज्ञान जी नाउ हैव जॉइंड।
तरुण भैया नमस्ते। सॉरी आज मैं सर टाइम से ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाया, मैं कानपुर एक इंस्टीट्यूट की मीटिंग में था। एंड
कोई बात।
हाँ, आई कैन सी लक्ष्मी।
अभी कहाँ पे हैं?
मैं सर कानपुर में हूँ, एक अपने फ्रेंड के ऑफिस में हूँ।
अच्छा।
जी 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 जी।
चले ज्ञान जी, आप एड्रेस करना चाहें तो एक बार कर दीजिए, ताकि फिर हम आगे अपने कार्यक्रम शुरू करें।
अरे मैं कोई एड्रेस नहीं करूंगा। मैं आज सर अमित जी को पहले उनके जन्मदिन की बधाई दूंगा। बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, बहुत बहुत बधाइयां अमित जी। एंड आई एम रियली थैंकफुल टू तरुण भैया हु इज ऑलवेज स्टैंडिंग विद अस लाइक
वी आर वेरी थैंकफुल। आप हमें याद कर लेते हो टाइम टू टाइम।
अरे सर नहीं भैया, ये आपका हमेशा बड़े भाई का आशीर्वाद हमारे साथ रहता है। एंड फ्रेंड्स, आई एम रियली वेरी मच थैंकफुल, क्योंकि थैंक्स का टाइम है, एड्रेस का टाइम नहीं है। थैंकफुल टू अविनाश भाई फॉर हिज प्रीशियस टाइम फ्रॉम दुबई, एंड एज लास्ट वीक आल्सो ही हैज हेल्प्ड इन द टाइम ऑफ द नीड। सो वेल सेड, द फ्रेंड इन नीड इज ए फ्रेंड इन नीड। तो गुरु जी को चंडीगढ़ अर्जेंट जाना था और अविनाश भाई ने पूरे सेशन को संभाला। आज भी अविनाश भाई ने दोबारा टाइम दिया। मैं आपका अविनाश भाई हृदय गहराइयों से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूं। मैं अपने फ्रेंड और अपने सभी पार्टनर्स को, जिन्होंने पूरा टाइम लगा करके ज्ञान की बात को चलाते हैं, मैं उनको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूं। और आई कैन सी लक्ष्मी मैडम, शी हैज जॉइंड फ्रॉम Azamgarh, a very small city. She is very good practitioner and very young, very dynamic. She is from Gorakhpur. So thank you, Lakshmi, for moderating today's session. And thanks to each and every participant for connecting with the Gyan Ki Baat. And I'm sure that we are going to have 3-4 more sessions. And all sessions are really very important sessions. Like one session is on overseas opportunities, and the other one is use of the artificial intelligence in practice of the chartered accountants. So we'll request all of you to kindly get registered yourself and keep connected with Gyan Ki Baat. So thank you one and all for your precious time and your blessings to this important event. थैंक यू। नाउ अविनाश भाई, आपको कुछ और लेना है तो आप ले ले। मैंने धन्यवाद पहले ही ज्ञापित कर दिया।
ठीक है सर, धन्यवाद देके आपने बोला है जल्दी जल्दी बंद करो और जाओ, बट हम जाने वाले नहीं है सर, एक क्वेरी बाकी है। डोंट वरी। So thank you Gyan bhai, and I must acknowledge the hard work put in by Gyan bhai in the council and outside the council for the members specifically. Thank you Gyan bhai, keep working. We will keep helping you for the cause of the profession. And over to Lakshmi ji. Yes, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
So one more query. Sir, as you mentioned, parent company group overhead covered under technical service and taxable at rate of 20%, and 15 CB is required to be filed. In this case, can we give benefit of DDTA?
DDTA, मैम पहली बात तो DDTA कुछ होता नहीं है, DTAA होता है, डबल टैक्स अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट. So double tax avoidance agreement benefit is always available to all the non-residents, provided the non-resident will furnish a tax residency certificate and declaration in Form 10F online now. So those, if the non-resident or your head office have given you the tax residency certificate along with 10F, and the DTA have given you some kind of a relief, maybe exemption or a lower tax rate, then of course your head office can obtain or can take that benefit of the DTAA. There is no doubt about it. I hope I have clarified this query. Next, madam.
No, sir, no other queries.
Hello, friends. Any question that you have? Anybody who want to ask anything can unmute and ask. डॉक्टर साहब आप तो पूछो, एक आपका बर्थडे आज.
सर मुझे एक क्वेश्चन है.
बताइए.
जैसे फॉरेन एग्जीबिशन होती है, कभी कभी उसमें जो
हाँ जी बोलिए. फॉरेन एग्जीबिशन. हेलो.
सॉरी, आ रही है?
I can hear you now. Tell me.
हाँ सर, फॉरेन एग्जीबिशन में पार्टली पेमेंट तो हम लोग इंडिया में देते हैं और पार्टली पेमेंट हम फॉरेन में भेज देते हैं, लेकिन वो होता है उस इवेंट से रिलेटेड ही है. तो उस
नहीं, देखिए इसमें दो चीजें हैं. पहले तो आप मेरे को ये बताइए, व्हेन यू आर मेकिंग पेमेंट टू इंडिया, so then it means you are making payment to an Indian company.
Yes,
it is not a non-resident.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when you are repatriating half of the money in the foreign account, that is also you are making to an Indian company, or you are...
No, it is to foreign company, foreign resident.
To a foreign resident. So then there would be two different contracts.
Yes.
One is the part payment. You must have a separate contract, or within a contract there are two different items. One is payment made to resident, and another is the payment made to non-resident.
Yes, sir.
So your payment made to non-resident, to that extent you need to file 15 CSC.
Although event is single.
Doesn't matter, na? Doesn't matter.
Right.
अभी आप बोलोगे कि आप बोलोगे मैं लंदन घूम के आया और मैंने एयर इंडिया को 2 लाख रुपए दिए और लंदन के होटल को भी 2 लाख रुपए दिए, तो 4 लाख दिए मैंने. तो हाउ मच मनी यू हैव पेड टू अ नॉन रेजिडेंट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. सो under 15 CSEB, whatever money which have been repatriated or which have been paid to a non-resident, only that amount to be repatriated. इससे मुझे याद आया एक बड़ी अच्छी ट्रांजेक्शन है. फॉर एग्जांपल मैडम, आपने आपके क्लाइंट ने एक ICICI बैंक बहरेन से लोन लिया हुआ है ECB का, and now they are repatriating money back towards the principal as well as towards the interest. Whether you are required to file 15 CSEB form?
I think yes, sir.
Anybody else? बोलिए मैडम. What do you feel? Yes, बिल्कुल. तरुण जी बिजी हैं. Anybody else? अंकुर जी कहाँ गए? अंकुर तायल जी.
Sir, I am here.
आप यहाँ नहीं थे, बंद करके बैठ गए थे. बुलाना भी तो था आपको. बताओ सर, ICICI बहरेन को लोन रीपेमेंट कर रहे हो, साथ में उसको इंटरेस्ट की पेमेंट हो रही है. Whether you required to file 15 CSEB certificate or not?
Not required, sir.
Not required, sir.
Not required?
No.
पक्का?
Yes.
You are making payment to Bahrain.
But that is a foreign branch of Indian bank, na?
Of course, yes.
So in that case, I don't think TDS is applicable.
Why you don't think? Tell me the reason.
Payment done to a banking institution for towards principal or interest is not taxable. So if the bank is Indian bank and having its foreign branch.
अच्छा सर. सर अगर यही चीज मैं HSBC लंदन को करूं या स्टैंडर्ड चार्टर्ड लंदन को करूं
तो एप्लीकेबल होना चाहिए।
तो एप्लीकेबल होना चाहिए। So there is nothing to do with banking. It is because I am making payment to a resident. So that ICICI Bank, Bhare, extended arm of Indian bank only, and that is a resident in India. So whenever I am making payment to a resident, there is no requirement to do any kind of a compliance of 15 CACB.
The same logic was there, sir.
So that logic is there. Now the question is, again, I have taken a loan from HSBC India. And now I am making repayment towards interest for that loan. Whether I am required to intimate file 15 CACB certificate. मेरे सेविंग अकाउंट से HSBC के अकाउंट में पैसा जा रहा है?
नो सर।
किसने बोला? रीजन बताओ सर, खाली यस और नो से नहीं।
सब फॉरेन बैंक्स की जितनी ब्रांचेस हैं, जनरली इन प्रैक्टिस हम तो कभी ऐसा कुछ करते ही नहीं, चाहे HSBC हो चाहे हांगकांग एंड शेंघाई।
आप गलत काम करते हो तो इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी होगा कि आप गलत काम आपका सही हो गया।
जनरली बहुत सारे
ऑडिट साइन करते हो, हमने तो कभी मैनेजमेंट रिप्रेजेंटेशन लिया नहीं, हमने तो कभी बैंक का सर्टिफिकेट बैलेंस कंफर्मेशन लिया नहीं, इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी कि ठीक हो गया। दैट इज व्हाट आई एम आस्किंग। तो आप नहीं लेते हो, दैट इज अ प्रैक्टिस। बहुत सारे काम हम गलत करते हैं और शायद करते रहेंगे भी। When we are students of law, we should know whether this is correct or this is not correct. Ankur ji, what do you feel? I am making payment of interest towards the what I can say, interest on the loan taken from HSBC India. Whether it is I need to file 15 CA or not.
It is not required, in my opinion, because we are making payment to the bank situated in India. That's Indian branch. That's why it is not required.
Okay. चलिए जी अंकुर। लक्ष्मी जी, आपका क्या मानना है?
Not required.
Not required. तरुण जी, but आप म्यूट पे हो।
Sir, again, residential status needs to be checked.
Not required, sir. In my opinion, also.
Not required. सकुजा जी तो है ही नहीं। सकुजा जी आप हो? डॉक्टर साहब कहाँ गए? डॉक्टर साहब सकुजा जी, आपका क्या मानना है?
मेरे हिसाब से होना चाहिए सर।
होना चाहिए।
ये इसमें ये चेक करेंगे कि वो उसकी रेजिडेंशियल स्टेटस के ऊपर डिपेंड करेगा।
तो मैंने आपको बता दिया HSBC ब्रांच है। हाँ जी, डॉक्टर साहब नहीं है सर। पुनीत जी और जो कह रहे हैं वो एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट है। Again diverted from the basic principle. This HSBC India branch
is
having the same residential status of what HSBC Bank in India have. So HSBC Bank is a non-resident. Branch is also deemed to be non-resident. And I am making payment to a non-resident. That doesn't matter whether I am making payment in India, outside India, in cash, whatever way it is. If I am making payment to a non-resident, then I am liable to give this certificate, or I am liable to file 15 CACB. Best example is dividend distribution. So every listed company is now doing dividend distribution, and their shareholders are many funds, many mutual funds in India, many funds outside India. The shareholders are many non-residents. The shareholders are many foreign companies as well. And all the payment, they all have bank accounts in India. The money is going through a normal NEFT. Money is going to their Indian bank accounts. But still, as a company, because dividend is amount which is taxable in the hands of the recipient, and when I'm making payment to all non-residents, even in case of this dividend distribution for these non-resident shareholders, even in case of listed companies, we have to file 15 CA and 15 CB certificate as the case may be. So sir, ये आप please ensure करें. Do not think that when I am making payment repatriating abroad, then I have to file it. No. Whenever I am making payment to a non-resident, is
Okay,
तो आप जब भी non-resident को पेमेंट करेंगे, आपको 15 CACB सर्टिफिकेट फाइल करना है। अगर मैं रेजिडेंट को पेमेंट करता हूँ ओवरसीज, तरुण जी ने एक लंदन में बैंक अकाउंट खुलवा रखा है, यहाँ पे सर्विस देते हैं और कहते हैं कि लंदन में पेमेंट करो। No need to pay, no need to file any 15 CACB because Tarun ji is a resident here. वो बात अलग है कि ये लंदन के बैंक अकाउंट को जो है ये खुलवा सकते हैं नहीं खुलवा सकते, दैट इज अ सेपरेट। अंकुर जी कह रहे हैं मेरा मत बोल देना कि मैंने भी खुलवा रखा है स्विट्जरलैंड में। चलिए सर, तो व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर 15 CCB is that to whom I am making the payment. Okay, whether he is resident or he is non-resident.
Non-resident.
Non-resident. Right. चलिए सर, आगे आगे अगला क्वेश्चन।
तो मीन सर HSBC को हर EMI के लिए हमें 15 CACV फाइल करना पड़ेगा?
बिल्कुल देना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज यू आर मेकिंग पेमेंट टू अ non-resident.
राइट सर, थैंक यू।
खाली EMI पे नहीं देना पड़ेगा, उसका TDS भी काटना पड़ेगा। जो इंटरेस्ट दे रहे हो उसमें TDS भी कटेगा।
जी।
खास करके जो आप ये जो BMW फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज, ऑडी फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज, जितनी कंपनीज है सब नॉन रेजिडेंट है, until unless you find them that they are resident in India.
अब बट ये जो फॉरेन बैंक्स होते हैं EMI का इनके पास स्टैंडिंग इंस्ट्रक्शंस होती हैं, वो सारा का सारा EMI ले लेते हैं और फिर कहते हैं कि TDS का सर्टिफिकेट दो तब हम रिफंड करेंगे, और रिफंड कभी करते नहीं।
लड़ाई करो उनसे, उनको बोलो हमारा TDS कंप्लायंस दो। और वैसे आपको सहूलियत के लिए बता देता हूँ, सारे जितने भी फॉरेन बैंक है सब 0% विथहोल्डिंग का सर्टिफिकेट 1 अप्रैल से पहले ले लेते हैं।
राइट सर।
मोस्ट ऑफ द बैंक्स।
थैंक यू।
इट डज नॉट मीन कि आपका 15 CACV का कंप्लायंस की लायबिलिटी नहीं है। दैट लायबिलिटी इज स्टिल देयर। और ज्यादा कुछ नहीं लेते। जितनी बार भी आपने डिफॉल्ट किया हम 1 लाख रुपए की पेनल्टी लगाएंगे। तो अगर आपने गलती से 10 बार डिफॉल्ट कर दिया कोई बात नहीं, 12 बार EMI दोगे तो 12 लाख रुपए की पेनल्टी लगेगी
बस।
फॉर ईच डिफॉल्ट देयर इज अ 1 लाख रुपीस पेनल्टी फॉर 15 नॉन फाइलिंग ऑफ 15।
प्रकाश।
राइट सर, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
Now the choice is yours. चलिए सर, any other query left?
यस सर।
Yes sir, बताइए।
सर फॉर्म 10F जो फाइल करती हैं फॉरेन पार्टीज अभी, वो दैट इज एज पर इंडियन आवर फाइनेंशियल ईयर, दैट इज अप्रैल टू मार्च, राइट? बट इन सम कंट्रीज कैलेंडर ईयर इज देयर फाइनेंशियल ईयर। आई थिंक फॉर यू कैन टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ सिंगापुर। तो लोगों ने TRC दिया कैलेंडर ईयर 2023 के लिए मान लीजिए, और पेमेंट जनवरी 2024 में हो रहा है। तो whether I should again ask them to provide me TRC or I can go with Form 10F?
इसमें what is important is when the services are provided. If the services are provided in 2023 and in January you are making payment for the services provided in 2023 or the contract entered in 23, then you can rely on the certificate of 23 itself. But if the services are provided in, let's say, February 23 and the contract 24. is also entered February 23, sorry, 24, sorry, 24. In that case, the TRC of 23 is not valid. Then you require a new TRC for the next.
Okay.
Sir, if you allow, I can address this query.
Yeah.
सर, इसके सिंगापुर वाले में क्या होता है कि जो कैलेंडर ईयर से उनका TRC इशू होता है और इंडिया वाले फाइनेंशियल ईयर से लेते हैं। तो फॉर अप्रैल टू 31 मार्च, फॉर एग्जांपल अप्रैल 23 टू मार्च 24, वहां पे हमें 2 TRC लेनी पड़ेगी और यहाँ पे फाइनेंशियल ईयर वाइज उस TRC को अटैच करके डॉक्यूमेंट फाइल करना पड़ता है।
तो वो दोनों काम कर सकते हो आप, बिना 2 TRC लिए भी काम कर सकते हो। दोनों तरीके से हो सकता है।
वी फेस दैट इशू। और मोबाइल नंबर पे OTP नहीं आती सर, वो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है। तो इंडिया का नंबर एक देना पड़ता है।
हाँ, नहीं वो तो ठीक है सर, वो तो सर दैट इज, वो तो फॉरेन मोबाइल पे OTP नहीं जाता। दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम। कोई बात नहीं सर, ये भी कर रहे हैं, उसको भी टेकअप करेंगे मैटर में। चलिए सर, एनी अदर क्वेरी?
Sir, yeah, we have one query from Manoj Sharma, sir. If a person earns $10 lakh in 15 years, then how to ascertain how much of taxable income are still with him to repatriate?
मैंने दोबारा बोलिए।
If a person earns $10 lakh in 15, if a person earns $10 lakh in 15 years, then how to ascertain how much of taxable income are still with him to repatriate?
देखिए सर, जो भी 3 साल पुराना बैलेंस है, बिकॉज 148 beyond 3 years is subject to, can be reopened only in case of each year income is exceeding 50 lakhs. If each year is less than 15 lakhs, so whatever is the balance 3 years back till the time 148 is not opened, so then you presume that these are all tax paid money. In the last 3 years, you can see his tax return that how much is the amount of income that he have shown it or if it is a below taxable limit, so every year he earns 5 lakh rupees each, for example, then you can say that it is all tax paid money. That is all depends on your due diligence that you do about the taxability and non-taxability.
अच्छा सर, एक और क्वेश्चन था। मैंने थोड़ा सा लेट ज्वाइन किया था, इसलिए पता नहीं ये टेकअप हुआ है कि नहीं। फॉर्म 15CA पार्ट ए is to be filed for if the subject payment is within 5 lakh rupees, right? हेलो।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
हाँ, तो सर किसी पर्टिकुलर पार्टी, एक पर्टिकुलर पार्टी है, उसको एक बार 4 लाख का पेमेंट हुआ, 15CA पार्ट ए फाइल किया गया, उसके बाद उसी फाइनेंशियल ईयर में 2 लाख का नेक्स्ट पेमेंट आ रहा है, तो उसके लिए क्या करना है? 15CV फाइल करना है या 15, मतलब वो कैलेंडर फाइनेंशियल ईयर वाइज देखा जाता है 5 लाख?
लक्ष्मी जी देखिए।
हेलो
हेलो
लक्ष्मी जी, पहली बार 4 लाख की पेमेंट करी है सेम पार्टी को, दूसरी बार जब 2 लाख की पेमेंट करने जाएंगे तो क्या पार्ट ए फाइल हो सकता है या पार्ट सी और डी फाइल होगा?
एक बार पेमेंट 4 लाख की कर दी है, आई थिंक पार्ट ए फाइल होगा।
4 लाख की पेमेंट करी, 2 लाख रुपए की और कर रहे हैं तो 5 लाख से ऊपर हो गया ना। Moment it exceeds 5 lakh, you cannot file part A. So meaning thereby for this 2 lakh, you have to file other than part A.
Okay.
Part A can be filed only when the individual or aggregate of the payment during the year does not exceed 5 lakh rupees per non-resident. So they have already made a payment of 4 lakh. So only 1 lakh limit is pending and they want to make a payment of 2 lakh. So till if they date 2 lakh, 2 plus 4 becomes 6, which is exceeding 5 lakh. So they cannot file form 50 part A.
Okay.
That has to be part C for the 2 lakh.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes. Any other question?
Sir,
What are managerial services as per section 9?
मैडम 1 घंटा चाहिए उसके लिए, अभी इसके थोड़ी देर में बताते हैं। चलिए सर और क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं।
सर
अभी
लास्ट
आप
एग्जांपल में
से पूछो ये इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में कौन सी इनकम टैक्सेबल है? यस, अंकुर जी कह रहे हैं मैंने भी एक बार ही पूछा था। चलिए
आप नहीं बताया था सर फिर।
चलिए और अभी मैं मैनेजरियल सर्विस अभी बताता हूँ। और एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? सर ऐसा भी नहीं लगना चाहिए ना कि मैं पढ़ के नहीं आया। चलिए एनी अदर क्वेश्चन है? नहीं तो लेट मी स्टार्ट विद दिस मैनेजरियल सर्विस।
लो सर, आप डॉक्टर साहब को याद कर रहे थे, इनको ले आया मैं।
यार डॉक्टर साहब पढ़ाई के मूड में नहीं है, वरना बहुत क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं। चलिए
आज बर्थडे मूड में है।
लेट
और भी क्वेश्चंस आए हुए हैं अभी इसमें चैट बॉक्स में।
नहीं, अब नहीं।
No more questions.
So now if any member want to ask any question, then he can raise hand and unmute him or her and then ask.
So sir, under section 917, the law says that any person who is providing the fee for technical services are taxable or deemed to accrue or rise in India, and the rate prescribed is 20%. Now under section 917 itself, the technical services is defined as a service which is technical, managerial or consultancy in nature. So now the basic thing is what amounts to technical, what amounts to managerial, and what amounts to consultancy. For the first part, what is technical? If anything which is done by a common man, which do not require specific knowledge, degree or skill, is not a technical services. So अगर मैं अभी अंकुर जी को बोलूं कि अंकुर जी मुझे एक ग्लास ऑफ वाटर चाहिए, आप मेरे को क्या ग्लास ऑफ वाटर ला सकते हैं? अंकुर जी कहेंगे ठीक है मैं ला सकता हूँ, 1 लाख रुपए लूंगा। ये इनका काम थोड़ी करूंगा, मैं चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हूँ। That 1 lakh rupees what I pay to him is for a service which can be done by anybody that do not require a specialized skill or knowledge. Then it is not regarded as a technical service. अगर मैं अंकुर जी को कहूंगा कि अंकुर जी मुझे ये बैलेंस शीट बना के दे दो, मैं आपको ट्रायल बैलेंस दे रहा हूँ, so for that particular job he may require a professional knowledge and skill, then it classifies to be a technical services. Another example is a guard. You have a guard at your gate. guard is sitting with a stick, anybody can sit there and become a guard. But if the guard is there with a gunman, पुनीत जी को security threat है, पुनीत जी ने अपना एक gunman रखा हुआ है, so can anybody can have a gun and can can use the gun? Answer is no. That require a specialized knowledge, skill, or even license to do that. So then a guard, when you to Group 4 or any other security agency, so when you make payment for a gunman, then it is classified as a technical service. When you are making payment to a normal guard, then it is not regarded as a technical services. Similarly, in a factory, if some repair, normal repair happen, and you ask for some mystery or some lower labor who do the thing, that is not technical. When you ask any engineer or a foreman or a specialized knowledge a person, and he provides that service, then it becomes technical service. Second, managerial service. So in case of a managerial service, managerial means management. So if somebody is providing a services which amounts to management of a particular function, management of particular activity, then it is classified as a managerial. So for example, if somebody is doing my HR management, somebody is doing my marketing management, somebody is doing my operation management, somebody is doing my accounts management, payroll management, AR management, inventory management, overall management. So all those kinds of functions which is being done by somebody in doing all these activity, then in that case, that amounts to the managerial services. But for example, Lakshmi ji is providing me an interview, is giving me the resumes for the people to be recruited by me. So she's not doing any kind of a management of a HR function. She's not doing the procurement function as well. She's not doing the recruitment function as well. Merely she is providing me the resume, so that does not amount to a managerial service. But if I ask her that, okay, I want this candidate who is having 10 years of experience, expertise, expert in international tax like this, she herself conducts interview, she herself make every arrangement, she talks about our organization, she interviewed 10 people, 20 people, and then find out one. And she come back to me and say, look, Mr. Gupta, I found out one candidate at this price to you. So, and this is my 1 month salary of that person or half a month salary as a charges. Then in that case, the services provided by her comes the managerial services because she is managing the entire process for me. If she is only providing a resume, then it is not regarded as a management. It is only a part of the service what she is giving. So that is not managerial service. That will be applicable in all kinds of management. Last part is called consultancy. Consultancy is generally given only by professional people. So any person who is having professional degree and providing consultancy. डॉक्टर साहब हमारे PhD हैं, डॉक्टर साहब के पास मैं गया और इससे मैंने किसी भी तरह की कोई एडवाइस ले ली, चाहे IFRS की एडवाइस ले ली, चाहे टैक्स की ले ली, चाहे किसी नॉर्मल मैटर में भी एडवाइस ले ली, because डॉक्टर साहब is a professionally qualified person and he is giving me some service. All services will be deemed to be the consulting services because he is having that professional skill, knowledge, and providing services out of that skill, knowledge, and profession. That's why it is called as a consultancy. If I went to some of my relatives and I asked some services, some kind of a consulting him who is not having any kind of a professional degree, skill, etc., that services may not be classified as consultancy services, even if they charge for that particular service. So consultancy services are generally given by the person of repute, person of specified knowledge, degree, and skill. And if they provide these kind of services, then it is called as consultancy. All three kind of services, technical, managerial, and consultancy, when you are taking these services from somebody and you are making payment for that, that is deemed to be the fee for technical services as per section 917, read with 115A. I hope I have answered this query of managerial. Chale, sir. Any other query, sir?
Yes, sir. One more. An SSC filed its Form 10B for the assessment year 2020-21 on 14th February 2021, and due date was 15th January 21. CPC disallowed the exemption. Whether benefit of provision of section 3(1)(d) of the taxation and other laws is available or not.
लक्ष्मी जी 15 CSCB से 10B पे कहाँ पे आ गए हम? इंटरनेशनल से सीधा चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट. Let's not take it. We'll
Yeah.
deal it separate.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
only the topic of the day.
Okay. Okay.
जिसका भी क्वेरी है मेरे को पर्सनली पूछ लेना, मैं बता दूंगा. But let's not disturb others on this.
Yeah.
चलिए. So I think thank you very much, friends, for this
Thank you, Avinash ji.
interaction. And thank you very much, Lakshmi ji, for a wonderful moderation. And I feel that you have done an excellent job today and doing this moderation. Thank you, my co-speaker and
Thanks,
keynote
sir.
speaker of the day, Tarun ji. And thank
Thank
you, Ankur ji, Puneet ji, and Dr. Saab. Sorry if I said anything wrong to anybody, if anybody heard. So I'm sorry.
अरे
It's
नहीं,
just I
नहीं,
just want to make more lively session in this, because I know this to make all these things it will be important. सर जो मेरे कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर मांग रहे हैं वो ज्ञान की बात से ले लें. ज्ञान की बात ही है, नहीं तो आप लिख लें 9810751999 199. एंड ईमेल आईडी उससे भी आसान है, ca.avinashgupta@gmail.com. So anything, anybody want anything, you can call me, contact me any time. Otherwise ज्ञान की बात है, पुनीत जी हैं, ज्ञान भाई हैं, अंकुर जी हैं, एनी टाइम यू कैन कॉन्टेक्ट देम एंड दे विल पास ऑन और दे कैन कनेक्ट इट टू मी. चलिए सर.
अविनाश जी,
Anything?
आपके नोट्स की बात हो रही है, इसके नोट्स मिल जाए तो वो है.
सर ये वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग दे देना, यही नोट्स है.
तो मैं जिन लोगों ने जो नोट्स मांग रहे हैं या है, तो एक बार मैं बता दूं, हमारा
पुनीत जी,
ज्ञान
मैं
की बात
गारंटी
का
कर
ना
सकता हूँ,
यूट्यूब चैनल है.
पुनीत जी मैं गारंटी कर सकता हूँ 60 लोगों में से 59 लोग नोट्स अगर मैं दे भी दूंगा तो कोई खोल के नहीं पढ़ेगा.
राइट, सही कह रहे हैं सर ये तो. सो मैं एक बार ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि जिन लोग नोट्स मांग रहे हैं या कुछ है, तो जितनी भी क्वेरीज हमने हैंडल करी, अविनाश जी ने जितनी क्वेरी हैंडल करी, ज्ञान की बात का यूट्यूब चैनल है, आप इस पूरी वीडियो को वहां पर देख सकते हैं, वहां लाइक कर सकते हैं, सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं, ताकि आपको किसी तरह की नोटिफिकेशन, ज्ञान की बात की इस तरह की नोटिफिकेशन आपको यूट्यूब चैनल से मिलती रहेगी. And I am really thankful to Lakshmi, who has moderated this session of such a nice way. And Tarun sir, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आपका आशीर्वाद हम लोगों के ऊपर निरंतर ऐसे ही बना रहता है. जब जब आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट होती है तब आप हमारे साथ मौजूद होते हैं, पीछे खड़े रहते हैं.
Anytime
इसलिए
sir,
आपका
तन मन
बहुत
धन के
बहुत
साथ, तन मन
धन्यवाद.
धन से.
Now I request Ankur ji to provide a vote of thanks to all the
Sir,
participants.
last but not the least, I think I should thank Kriti ji also in the back end. She is coordinating everything. She is in touch with me and she is every time. Please, I think Kriti ji, thank you very much.
Sure,
Thank you
sure,
so
sure.
much,
ये तो
sir.
बात
Thank you so much.
कीर्ति जी का तो बनता ही है.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank CA Tarun Kansal ji for giving a wonderful keynote address to start the session very well. And I am also thankful to CA Avinash Gupta ji, जिस तरीके से इन्होंने सेशन लिया. 15 CA CB के अलावा भी काफी सारी क्वेरीज अविनाश जी ने हैंडल की एज यूजुअल. और 15 CA CB के बारे में आई डोंट थिंक कि ये वीडियो देखने के बाद कोई भी बहुत ज्यादा क्वेरी हमारी कोई बचेगी. और इवन दो क्वेरी इज देयर इज क्वेरी, so Avinash ji is very generous to give his mobile number, email ID, all these things to take the queries after the session also. Thank you Avinash ji for your this gesture. Or thank you very much CA Lakshmi Rungta ji. You have moderated the session very well. Addressed all the queries of all the participants in a nice way, so that ki jitni queries थी सभी queries settle हो गई हैं. I am thankful to all the participants who have participated and asked the queries, so that जितने भी participation हुआ और उसमें जो भी queries आपने पूछी उससे session बड़ा lively रहा. और आगे भी अभी हमारे बहुत सारे session जो है वो प्लान में हैं. तो आप लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है कि जो हमारा YouTube चैनल है आप उसको जरूर सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए. कीर्ति जी सबको उस सेशन का जो हमारे YouTube चैनल है उसका लिंक शेयर कर देंगी, so that जो भी सेशन आगे होंगे उनकी जो इंफॉर्मेशन है that will be circulated to you all yourself. And I am highly thankful to the Kirti also, so that जिन्होंने पूरा प्रोग्राम स्ट्रक्चर किया, सभी स्पीकर से, कीनोट स्पीकर से, मॉडरेटर से, पार्टिसिपेंट से कोऑर्डिनेट करके इस प्रोग्राम को सक्सेसफुल बनाया. थैंक यू वेरी मच. थैंक यू ऑल.
Thank you
सर
so
आप
much, sir.
म्यूट पे हो मुरी जी आप.
नेक्स्ट सेशन हमारा 5 जुलाई को सेम टाइम पे है और टॉपिक्स हैं प्रोफेशनल अपॉर्चुनिटीज इन दुबई एंड टीपी पे है टॉपिक हमारा, उसका की फंडामेंटल ऑफ इंडियन ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग एंड सेटिंग टीपी प्रैक्टिसेस। सो उस पे एक सेशन है 5 जुलाई को। सो हम लोग फिर मिलते हैं 5 जुलाई को इसी वक्त इसी समय यहीं पे ज्ञान की बात पे। थैंक यू ऑल।
Thank you everyone. Thanks.
Bye bye.
थैंक यू।